Okay, level 3, let's up our game. You know this overview already. This is the challenge to skills equation. And what it means is you need to find your own personal balance between anxiety, like, this is too hard, I can't do this, this is way outside of my comfort zone, versus, this is boring, press enter, press, or do the same thing every day in, day out, so to say. You're gonna have to find a playful balance there, and you can do that with all different kinds of techniques. So if things are too complex, your anxiety rises too much, you can do a certain few things, which I will show you in a sec, and the same goes for boredom. In the end, you want to be within this equation's balance, and again, this is personal, so yeah, find your thing. This requires experimentation, by the way. So it's not an exact science. In general, it's sort of like 4% outside of your comfort zone. This is a research done by Stephen Kotler with Google, on the employees of Google, and they noticed like, okay, to activate flow state, you aim between 1 to 4%. It can be 6%, it can be 2%. It also depends on the day, how you feel. What I do to prevent the boredom, so to say. When I am bored in a certain activity, you have a ton load of things that you can do. So this is a limited list. There are, of course, way more options. This is why experimentation is an important part. Okay, so the things that I do, for example, is I check my heart rate and I try to get it as high or as low with my breathing as I possibly can in a certain situation. If I want to get it higher, I take short breaths, sort of hyperventilate, and then release. Or if I want a lower heart rate, I go in deep release, short high, deep release. So the deeper your lows are, the lower your heart rate goes, and the deeper your highs are, the faster your highs are, so to say, the higher your heart rate goes. This is very convenient if you want to be energized. Do hyperventilation. The longer, the better, so to say. We will teach you later. And if you want to relax, do lower breaths, like for example 4, 7, 8. So 4 minutes in, hold 7 minutes. Sorry, 7 seconds. 7 minutes breath holding will be a bit long, and then release through the mouth 8 seconds. Also, a great technique if you can't sleep at night. If you do it 3 times, get a big yawn out of it. Then you will start feeling sleepy, and the juices will take over. Yeah. Also, something that helps relax my muscles, especially the back muscles, but also engage with my body a bit more, as I am often behind a screen, is roll a golf ball or a tennis ball, or preferably a hockey ball. I don't have it laying around here, underneath my feet. It works like a charm. It's even the thought of it, I'm literally rolling my foot like I can connect with the feeling. Quantum approach. Taking notes helps a lot, especially if you are in some less interesting class, for example. Take notes, activate that part of your brain, challenge yourself, try to keep up. And when I'm not going to dive into this note tech strategies yet, but do ask yourself, make notes on the left page, and then on the right page, I would say, why is this important? How am I going to use this, and when? So left, in your own words, the things that you want to record, and then right, why, how, what. Especially the what makes it more practical. Okay, so a fourth one is the breath work I told you, but also listening. So exercises like 5, 4, 3, 1. I see 5 things, hear 4 things, etc., etc. We talked about. Also, fun way, number 5, is set a timer. So when I normally do something, a brainless task, in 10 minutes, well, let's challenge ourselves today. Let's do it in 9 minutes. So this helps me decrease boredom in such a game. So for example, if you want to ski, normally 2 minutes downslope, let's do 1:55. Procrastinate productively. I've talked about this with you in previous video. I do all these small chores when I am releasing, so to say. So sometimes I'm releasing in the chat. That's definitely a bad idea, because then I will be all over the place screaming all weird things in large communities, but and with friends and family. But for me, chores Cleaning the house, do the dishes, all those things. Perhaps sometimes I do a little bit of shopping to the grocery store, as long as you are back within the 15 minutes. And that you can trigger like, okay, I've approached the resistance, I've done the exercises, whether open awareness exercises or walking whatsoever, I'm ready for it. But it does, however, requires you to take action. Add additional challenges. So not only a time constriction is a challenge, but for example, if you're skiing or if you're running, for example, and you find running boredom, try to run with weights. Do some different types of exercises, like you can do duration, you can do interval, you can do a normal pace, you can run backwards for that matter, or run different routes, but do the same thing in new ways, so to say. Also do new ways, because then do new things, because then your brain is making new neural pathways. You're making new connections, which is growing your brain, basically. Keep yourself present in the moment, and again, embrace this curiosity. Whether other people think it is weird, whether your own voice in your head says all these, no, you should not do this. Follow your curiosity about the one thing. Can you talk the entire day? Can you keep consuming like a sponge? Find that, and you will find flow. Focus on the micro things, like the small things. Become granular in your work. Make it more magical. Make it more you, so to say. By moving in a certain way, you see, I can adjust the pace by my hands, for example, by really, really focusing on this moment. This is me trying out a different authentic voice. So sorry for using you as a guinea pig here, but I think this flows better for me. So I am switching gears here for a second. Then this sense of control thing is, as discussed, focus your thoughts on paper and realize that you do have some sense of control. So your fear is something in the future. You are safe, so to say, in the now, unless you are attacked by a wild animal, which chances are that's probably not the case. So confront yourself, like, hey, you say this and this, but this is not necessarily, this could also be an outcome. So try to spin that story. Or, okay, if you think so, let's see. I will try my own. Let me prove you wrong. Let me prove you that I can do certain that. And it's not necessarily an outcome. You will see. So this will create the clarity. To summarize it, is embrace these new experiences. So do new things. It's as simple as that. Do things you have never done before. Talk with people on the street you've never spoken with. Do things in a totally different fashion. If you always walk to your grocery store route A to B because that's the fastest, this time walk from A to W to whatever. Drive different routes. Don't do things automatically. Create these new ways. Enrich your world, enrich your life. Allow serendipity to enter your life. Experiment. Fail. And just play with it. Just do something. Do whatever you feel like you should be doing. But, however, reflect. Reflection is when you learn. So when you reflect on the process, like, hey, this was the intended outcome, this was the final outcome, what caused the difference, and can I influence that difference? So reflection is a vital part of this experimentation. If you don't reflect, you're missing half of the output. Then look for flow in relationships. So not only in activity, but also in words. Start to listen to somebody's voice, intonation, sound, mimics. Start listening, listen deeply, and then you will discover somebody's tune. And that's a beautiful thing. If you see somebody's tune, then you can definitely either adjust to it or embrace it or avoid it, whatever you feel is right for you in that particular moment. However, sometimes it's more about you just being present there already elevates the other spirits, because the best present you can give somebody is your presence. Ta-da! There he is again. Okay, so create flow rituals. So for me, there are certain rituals. I discussed this with you in previous chapter. I do certain exercises when I bring the kids back, when I move from the kids' school back to home. I put on certain goggles. I set on a certain type of music in the afternoon when I'm little bit tired, for example, that help me push through. But I create, number 5, a flow conductive environment. So for me, that's mainly get rid of distractions, make sure that I can flow optimally. In other words, if you go skiing, better check your gear. Yeah. And finally, and this is one I face myself constantly, you will probably notice this in the videos as well. I need to add more patience within this. So I am too often too rushed to really enjoy the process or to hit the ball optimally, so to say. I see this with my tennis game as well. I'm always in too early the ball. I should wait like one more second and then swing. Also think about position, all those things and all those tips and tricks. But timing is key. So knowing when to act is perhaps even more important than acting itself. So I finalize with this recap conclusion. I will shut up from here, and I allow you enjoy reading this. And then next we will go to level 4 about different brain states.